Hey guys, happy Tuesday. So, just a heads up, and please bear with me here. I really believed my voice was going because I sang Saturday, Sunday, and yesterday at the young adult group, but it's now accompanied by like a headache, a somewhat stuffy and runny nose, and I'm just exhausted, and my head kind of hurts, and I'm kind of glad I really don't have anything to do today until tonight because I'm just not feeling that great. And I really hope it's not like at the start of a sinus infection or a cold because starting tomorrow, we have a pretty busy rest of the week. So if you could please keep me in your prayers about that. Even though I am feeling kind of crummy, I did want to do this video still about the burden of loneliness. I finally got back to reading my book. I was reading a different book for a while. I kind of bounced back and forth, but this one definitely always gets me right where I need it, and I absolutely love it. And today was about the burden of loneliness and how the writer goes through David, who is the psalmist in the Bible, who was writing about his loneliness. And one of the things he said was, I'm tired of all of this, so tired. My bed has been floating 40 days and nights on the flood of my tears. My mattress is soaked, soggy with tears. The sockets of my eyes are black holes, nearly blind. I squint and grope. Psalm 6, 6 through 7. And I mean, how many of us can say that we've been there? I know I have, just crying out to God in loneliness. I could be surrounded by so many people and still feel alone, especially now that I'm not working and I am in the house more than I ever was in my life. There are times I really feel lonely. Like, I do videos, I research for jobs, I write stuff from home, I clean the house, cook dinner, and do all of the things that could take up time, but yet I still feel lonely. And I am grateful that I do have my animals here for those times that occurs, but I can really relate to what David is saying here. He knew what it was like to be lonely, but not even that. He knew what it was like to be betrayed. He says, but when I was down, they threw a party. All the nameless riffraff of the town came chanting insults about me. Like barbarians desecrating a shrine, they destroyed my reputation. Yahweh, how long are you going to stand there doing nothing? Psalm 35, 13 through 17. And that could be a very lonely time as well, when you feel like people are against you and you feel insulted or demeaned or, by friends, family, coworkers, spouses, boyfriends and girlfriends, like people you don't even know that well, distant family, like whatever the case may be. He describes that so well, and I can relate to that too. When people come against you, just feel like you were already lonely, but you feel even lonelier when you have that like overwhelming just feeling that everybody's like coming against you at one time, and that's really difficult to bear. But things did not improve for David as he continues through the psalm. And like, we are not strangers to loneliness either. So we may feel like we're facing, a disease alone, facing our future alone. And sometimes we stay up at night because we're so lonely. We will do anything to mask that. We will go partying, to clubs, drinking alcohol, smoking weed, doing drugs. Then we will, instead of wanting to sleep alone, sleep around, just be with anybody to fill that void of loneliness. But only God can truly fill the void of loneliness, or any void that we have in us. And, Max Lucado brings up the perspective that loneliness is actually a gift from God, because it kind of propels us and forces us to turn to God when we have nowhere else to turn. And of course, you don't want to just turn to God because you have nowhere else to turn, but that can very well be the start of such a beautiful, intimate relationship. Is like, you feel like no one's there, no one's listening, but God is there, God is listening. God has never turned his back. He will never betray you, walk away from you, insult you, demean you, bully you, berate you. He will not do the things that, as sinful humans, that we do. And it's, you realize that you may have not had another option. You don't have another choice but to turn to God in your state of loneliness. There's nothing else. You've tried everything and nothing is working. And God wants us to hear his beautiful rhythm, his beautiful music that he has for us. And he begins to like toss out every single thing to get our attention. Friends will turn away from you. That job you want, you won't get. He'll remove things that you thought you wanted. You know, your husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend doesn't understand what you're going through. Whatever the case may be, he will start to toss the CDs, was Max's reference. And, you know, it says in Hebrews 12 that the Lord disciplines those that he loves. And he will silence every voice, everything that's distracting you just to make you turn to him again. And he is like I have said, the only one who can fill that void. He has the love, he has the peace, he has the power, and anything else we go to is a temporary fix. Like, I guess the danger of a temporary fix is exactly that. It's just temporary, and it's not going to sustain you in the long run, and it's not going to be fulfilling for like eternity. It just won't. It might seem that way, you know, to self-medicate or to sleep around, or you're only masking the true root of whatever the problem is. You're masking it with doing those things. There's so many verses that can go with this too. I will not leave you in Genesis. I will not forsake my people in 1 Kings. God will never leave you nor forsake you in Deuteronomy. And he had us underline the words in the book, you are not alone, because we feel so lonely, and in those moments we need God the most, because he's right there with his arms open wide. And I've had to turn back and run to him. You know, recently today I've had like struggling moments where I just felt so like upset or down and thinking about things, or my anxiety was kind of getting up, and I learned some breathing techniques from my counselor that really helped me. But I just go back to center and I refocus, and that's what I think of when God really wants to get our attention. He will like cause us to kind of refocus. He changes the N in lonely to a V, from lonely to lovely, and it's really incredible to see him do that. And a good reference that he brings up here is going to a grocery store on an empty stomach. You will buy things that you don't even need, you don't even like, you don't even want. You'll buy them because you're hungry. You're trying to satisfy that need in your stomach. And we do stuff like that because, you know, when we're lonely, we're hungry for love, fear of facing life by ourselves. So instead of appearing small to other people, we'll go into debt and buy what we don't have. And for the fear of standing out, we'll wear stuff that's provocative and things that we should not be wearing to get attention. Fear of not fitting in, we'll take any drug that any person wants us to try, or drink any alcoholic drink that people want us to drink. And we search for love in all the wrong places when we have a fear of being loved. And we have to just lay those fears down at the feet of Jesus, because we are not called to live by temporary satisfaction and temporary fulfilling needs. So God's perfect love casts out all the fear that we have. He's teaching us a lot during that season of solitude, that season of loneliness. And I just pray that you guys find comfort in that, knowing that he is not alone. He is right there. He's never left. Even when we try to turn away, he's always going to be there, and he'll never leave. So be encouraged, stay blessed to know that whatever you are finding temporary fulfillment in, it's not going to compare at all to the eternal fulfillment that God will offer you through his love, through Jesus' sacrifice on the cross, through his mercy, grace. Like, every sin, past, present, and future, is forgiven. Like, you will not find that in that drink you're about to take, in that hit of weed you're about to smoke. You will not find that in any of that, in the person you want to like hook up with, in the job you think you need to have, in the money that you don't have and you're spending. Like, you will not find it anywhere else but in the Lord. So I pray that you guys remember that. I pray you guys have a great rest of the day. I'm going to be relaxing, kind of just taking it easy. Please feel free to leave any comments, any prayer requests. I'd love to pray for you. Please subscribe to my channel and share this with those who you think may need it. I really am blessed to be able to use this as a platform. And thank you guys for allowing me to be myself and be vulnerable, and even come to you where I feel like I look like I'm fighting a cold. But you know what? Hey, just like it says in the book, like, who cares, right? Like, I don't need to be all dolled up when I do these videos. But thank you guys for accepting me for who I am. So please just remember these truths, that you are not alone, and God is right there no matter what you may be facing. So I hope that helps you, and I hope you have a great rest of the day, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.